Lokotz. Welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable. This is my Wednesday afternoon in the USA show, and welcome everybody who's in the live chat. I'm so glad that you're able to be with me this afternoon for the weekly card draw information. And that weekly card draw information is really all about what Spirit has to say for us today, or for this week, actually. But before I get started with that, I would like to go over to welcome and see if I can actually see if I can get this to work this time. And it's something that I just learned how to do, and I'm hoping it's going to let me, and it's not. I don't understand why. All right. Technology is grand when it works. I don't know. I think maybe I have to change my designation. Maybe that's it. All right. We're going to have to turn off the background sound again. Technology. And maybe this will do the trick, and it didn't. Okay. Well, can't say I didn't try. All right. Well, thanks for joining me. Today is the card draw day. And what I do on Wednesday mornings, specifically for this show, because I draw it other times during the week, I do a morning card draw. And in that morning card draw, my intention is always about asking my spiritual team to show me what energy is flowing today that is most important for us to know about for our highest good and the highest good of all, that will help us along our spiritual path, our soul's journey, that will help us with to get some clear insight, maybe an aha moment, right? So that is the intention, and it also sparks a really good spiritual conversation. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, you're in the right place. Now, here is the deck that we're still using. It is Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray and illustrated by Lily Moses. Yeah, it's one of my favorite decks. We've been using this for a few months now. Yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh, let's see. Rob is saying something here. He's saying today's subject is Rob just kicked off. Like, well, that can happen, right? Especially today. I don't know about you guys, but technology has been kind of wonky today. I didn't have internet earlier today. I came down to my office to work. I was going to meet with Minnie Kansman in the practice group for Be Live, and I didn't have internet. This is like the fourth time, like in a month. And so we did our best to try to get it done, and I just, not even on my phone with my hotspot could I get connected. So it was just weird. And then I decided no internet. Okay, then I have to do stuff that I need to get done with that I can do without the internet. So I ended up running to the bank and the post office and dry cleaners and doing all of those kinds of things. And when I came home, about 11:30 my time, I had the internet. So we were out probably a good 3 hours or 4 hours. Yeah. So I'm so glad to be here with you guys, because otherwise I would be having to go down to Starbucks or someplace where they have Wi-Fi available with my earbuds in and doing the show from there. That would have been kind of interesting, don't you think? All right, before we get too far down the road, I'm taking my phone, and I'm going to be sending the live stream out to my newsfeed, and also I am going to go share it over to the Star Nation's live stream show closed group. Yeah. So, and just to a few people here. There. All right. And I would encourage you to do the same thing. All right. Because, if you know somebody who would enjoy this kind of conversation, looks for this kind of information, it's always a nice thing to do, is to let them know that you found something that's interesting, right? Okay. So the cards. Very interesting card draw this morning. We have 3 cards, and one of the cards is rather near and dear to my heart. The first one, wait, let me turn off the crawler because that always gets kind of annoying when you're trying to read. There we go. All right, so here's the first card. Drum. Dream and journey. Dream and journey. Drum. And you all know how I feel about the drum, right? And so when you're looking at the card itself, notice that it's in the 4 directions, and in the crosswinds, you see in the upper right is the image for the sun, and below it is the full moon, and next to that is the quarter moon, and up in the upper left quadrant is the star, right? Yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting. When you look at the west-east axis, and you have images on that line, almost petroglyph kind of etchings. A person, a human being, looks like maybe a horse, and then a deer, and then a bear, right? In the north-south axis, you have almost like an arrow, and maybe crosses or something down below, down here. Yep, right down here. I'm not sure what those are. See if I can get the camera to focus. Focus. There we go. I'm not sure what those mean. They look like a T. And around the perimeter of the drum head, you have other icons. Teepees, people, 2-legged, 4-legged, trees. It's the walk of life, right? In the background of the card is the flower of life. That's about all of creation. Drum, dream and journey. Dream and journey. Yeah. When the very first time I ever drew this card, when I first got the deck, I think it was 2018, August or September of 2018. And the first time I drew this particular card, I was so excited. It's like the drum. All right. Let's see. Rochelle's here. She says, hello, Neshi. Hello, Rochelle. She says, had to go to Meijer's for grocery shopping. Oh, that does happen every once in a while, right? I was looking at a pair of men's gloves and it didn't have the price. I really got pissed off and threw them down. Where in the hell did that come from? I don't know. Why would you have such a sharp response to something that is probably by mistake, or somebody pulled the price tag off, right? Interesting. And I'm glad you noticed it. It's like, what the heck? Where did that come from? But for me, it's the little things that get that kind of response from me. It's not the big things. The things that we should be being really angry about and really showing that emotion about, right? Those are the ones I kind of take in stride. I say, well, we don't know the whole story. We don't know the flip side of this. Why don't we get some more information? And then if it warrants a really strong response, then that's what I'll do. But it's the little things. It's the little things like I'm down here and I didn't bring the house phone with me. We hardly ever get calls on the house phone, and the phone is ringing and it's upstairs. It's not even just in the living room, it's on the second floor. It's like that kind of stuff makes me angry because that means now I have to stop what I'm doing and I have to go and get it, right? Maybe. Because the only people who call me on that line is Paul checking in, and sometimes telemarketer kind of people. Those robocalls that say don't hang up. Yeah. So a lot of times I just let it ring, right? But there's that moment of perturbedness. It's like, really, you couldn't ring when I was upstairs. You had to wait till I was downstairs. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Yeah. Rob, there we go. It reminded her of a Lexmark printer that won't install from the server. Oh, really? That's what that was about. Oh, okay. Lexmark printer. I still find that funny. Okay, so and Deb is here too. Hi, Deb. It's good to have you here. And Lisa's here too. Yay. She says, I have to tell you, after last night with you, I watched a movie called Shauna, The Wolf's Music. This pertained to everything you talked about. It was good. Oh, that's no coincidence, right? It's no coincidence that you would see another message around the same subject. Isn't that interesting? Especially using wolves, or wolf medicine, I should say. No price tag on anything. Well, then, you know what my husband would say when he's in a store and it's like that? He would be telling the clerks or the checkout people, it's free. There's no price tag on it. That means it's free. Don't charge me for it. And he says it in a joking kind of way, but and they'll say, do you really want this? And he goes, oh yeah, it's why I picked it up, but there's no price on it. And so I can't even scan it anywhere to find out what the price is. And so then they have to go send somebody to go look, and sure enough, there's no price tags on any of them. And it's free. No, I don't think he's ever gotten anything free like that. But all right, here we go. Drum. So before reading any of the information coming from Kyle, the author, let's talk a little bit about what we already know about drum. Okay. Now I know that the drum is a very ancient sacred tool, and that indigenous people from all over the world all had some sort of drum, some kind of drum. And I also know that all of us are indigenous to some land, some continent. Even though you may have been born here in the United States, but that's not where your ancestors are from, right? And so the indigenous to which continent? And we all come from someplace indigenously. And so your ancestors at some point had some sort of drum, right? And so the drum was used for lots and lots of different reasons. And not everyone had a drum. Not like today, in Star Nation's community, almost every community member has a drum of some sort, right? Or most of us do, I should say. But years and generations ago, not everyone had one. Only certain people who were able to use the drum for whatever reason, whether it was for social, for healing, communication, something like that. Yeah. And so they were highly prized, valued pieces, and they still are today, right? And so whenever we hear a drumming, the drum beat, right? It touches us in a way that it kind of taps us on our ancient shoulder. Okay, the ancient part of us responds to it. So, for instance, for those that are in the live chat, have you ever been someplace and you hear drumming of some sort and you just got to go see where it is? What is it? Who's doing that? Why are they doing it, right? I do. I do. Of course, I grew up with it. And so whenever you hear a drumming of some sort somewhere, you have to go find out. Yeah. And there's all kinds of drumming all over the world and different ways to drum, right? There's the very musical, by music notes, read the music and play certain songs, right? Yeah. To the ones that are, no music at all, and you're just drumming from however you want, whatever feels good to you, and everything in between, right? Yeah. And drums, when it's done socially, or even, more modern day musical kind of things, drums are meant to keep the beat, to keep everybody together, right? Yeah. So drums have been used lots of different ways by lots of different people, right? And on the spiritual side of things, drums, um, Native American hand drums, the big drums, those kinds of things. Every one of those drums have a spirit that resides in it, and that's what makes it spiritual, sacred. Is that there's a spirit that resides within that drum. And when the drum is created is when that new being is birthed, right? Yeah. That's what making your own drum very special, very special. All right, so here we go. Here's the message. Journey inwards to uncover insights and information that will be important for you on your path. Then follow the guidance. Okay. So go inwards to uncover insights and information that's important for your journey. So, how many of us meditate or journey, do shamanic journey, soul journey, to drums? A lot of us do, right? The drumming affects that part of our brain when it's a certain kind of beat and when it's fast. Okay. It helps us to enter into a trance, really. It changes us, changes our brain waves, gets us into the alpha state. And yeah, and so when this card comes up, it really is talking about that shamanic journey, referring to being able to go within to find your own answers, your own information. And in our ancestry, the holy people, the medicine people, are the ones that would do that. They're the ones that would do the journey work with the drum. And they would travel to different worlds, different dimensions, different realms to find information for people and for themselves. That's what they did. It says listening to a drum beat can become hypnotic and send those listening into an altered state that can allow them to journey to the spiritual realms and meet their guides. When the drum card appears in a reading, there are opportunities for you to dream or to bring an inner vision into reality. Okay. So with this card coming to us, the very first card in the card draw for the week is Spirit letting us know that it's important for us to be aware of our dreams, the information coming through meditation, that we can actually bring forth those inner visions into our own reality. right? We talk about dream the dream all the time, don't we? Some of us would call it the law of attraction, manifesting, but it has to start someplace, right? So we start dreaming, we start envisioning what kind of whatever it is that we want to bring into our life. And it says here that if you are connected to the other worlds at this time, that you're very connected to the other worlds at this time. The wisdom and intelligence of the earth and her magic surrounds you. The drum, which echoes the sound of Mother Earth's heartbeat, has cleared cobwebs and dust from your inner vision. What you have seen in your dreams and inner vision is not imagination, but guidance, particularly if it's been coming to you repeatedly and has the potential to become reality. Dreams come true, know it, and live it. Right? And when I was reading this card, thinking about it, I was thinking about something that Ed Langdon says in his show all the time, Life Wisdom with Ed Langdon. He's always saying that when you're working with the law of attraction, is that what you're doing is that when you're trying to make a decision about something, right, is to try it on and dream about it. Dream the dream about it. What does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? Right? And then you get to take that one off and then try on another one to see if that feels better to you or not. And then you can decide which one you want to dream about, which one you want to create. This card is a lot like that. And basically, Spirit's telling us is that it's okay to dream. It's okay to grab those inner visions to see if you really want to create that. Because the bottom line is we're the creator. We're co-creating with Spirit. But we are the ones that have to decide if that's what we want to create for our lives, in our lives. Right? Yeah. Because, have you ever been in that situation where you just can't make a decision? It's like, I don't know. What if I choose wrong? What's going to happen then? And you get kind of anxious about it, right? And you're kind of stuck in between. It's like, I want to, but I'm afraid to, right? That's when our mental mind kind of gets involved. Let's see. Oh, here is Bobby. She says, Randy and I chat about this. We decided it's an energy that we're drawing to us. Change the energy, change the pattern. Exactly. And if that dream doesn't feel good, dream a different dream, right? Dream a different dream. Rob is saying there are no human indigenous to Antarctica. If there was, their drums would be cold. Well, we don't know that. Do we really know that? Earth has changed a lot over the billions of years she's been around. Who knows where that land mass was at? It could have been someplace warm once. We don't know. Rob's saying this, they sync with the bass player, which lays the harmonic foundation for the rhythmic interest. Yeah, they work together, right? They work together. And he's also saying, give me the Beat Boys, free my soul. Yay, I love that song. And I want to get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. I love that song. That's going to be playing in my head. Thanks, Rob. Hey, Deborah, you're here. Good to have you here. And Bobby is also saying the drum. Well, that's our card right now, manifesting out with the old perfect good energy. I know, right? It's one of the things that feels so good to me when the realization kind of seeps in and sits there and all of a sudden you get this, change it, turn it upside down, turn it inside out, or take it away completely and put something new in its place, right? Yeah. And we can do that with anything. Anything. How many people have reinvented themselves? That's an old term. That's an 80s, 90s term, isn't it? Reinventing yourself. Not too long ago, I was reading something. It was called the pivot point, right? And it's just a pivot. And it kind of reminds me of like basketball, right? If you've ever played basketball and you're dribbling the ball and you want to go in a different direction, you pivot. You pivot. And so we can do that with our dreams. If it doesn't feel good, then dream a different dream. Dream a different dream. And make it the best one that you can. That makes you feel happy, right? Now, so that's our first card. So keep that in mind and in your heart. The next card is Animal Guardian. Another one of my favorite cards. I know, I like them all. This one is about trust your instincts, right? And don't you just love this picture? Come on. With that little fawn, that baby in her arms. And she's got wings on, right? She's got the raven on one shoulder and a black panther on her other. Look how much they love her. They are in love with her. The owl looking down at her at the top, wisdom. She's got antlers in spirit in the back. We could say that's a full moon, or maybe that's her halo in the background, right? And look at her earrings. They're butterflies. Look how long they are. It's all about clear audience, clear hearing. And also notice her hands. That's a mudra. It's about peace and calm, right? Trust your instincts. When something feels off, that just doesn't feel right, then it's not. It's not. There's something not right with the picture, correct? When we've all felt that. Where do you feel that in your body? Where do you feel it in your body when you've got something going on and it just doesn't feel right? And you can't put your finger on it sometimes, right? Mine, I feel it in my solar plexus. It's like, something's not right. And a lot of times I've got that clear knowing. It's like, I know it's not right. I know it. We got to change it. Or stop. Stop. Something's not right. Okay. Have you ever had that feeling? I know. A lot of us have. A lot of us have. But we also have that feeling when something feels really good, right? When there's joy and happiness. Now, sometimes it's kind of far and in between for some people, but most of us have had it at least once or twice in our lives where you can turn your attention to it and bring the memory back, right? Yeah. So feel that feeling. Our bodies don't lie to us. When we have a feeling and it affects our physical body, listen to it. That is your instincts. That is your higher self working through your body saying, wait, look at this. Or it's the elation piece, right? Rob, you're welcome. Now that I got the song in my head. All right. Deb is saying, are you talking some 80s, 90s people? Yep, exactly. Exactly. And she says, often I feel like I'm awake watching my dreams and change the middle or ending to a better dream. Yes, we certainly can do that. Both in dreamtime dreams, and awake dreams, like right here in the middle world, right? If it doesn't feel right, change the ending, change the middle. You can change it. Yeah. Some people Some people were afraid to change it, even though we can, right? Yeah, we kind of get stuck in a belief system that we got to finish whatever we start, right? Did you ever get told that? Finish what you're starting. Yeah, that was ingrained, especially here in the Midwest. It's ingrained in us. Finish what you start. Don't be a quitter. Yeah, sometimes that's good because it shows our determination, right? But in other times, um, and this is where discerning comes in, is that we have to discern for ourselves. Is it in our highest good and best interest to keep going forward with the path that we're on and what we're doing and how we're doing it, and or is it best for us to change direction, right? Yeah. And here and this one I learned with I was going to say the hard way. There's a lot of challenges around this one for me, and that is um, when we are deciding, making that decision to change direction or to wipe the slate clean and start over, right? And we get stuck in that. I don't know what to do. Do I go forward? Do I not go forward? We get stuck in the middle, right? We're not happy. We're frustrated, sometimes angry, right? Resentful. And making that decision to make a change or to go forward, right? When I've gone through that, I realize really what I'm in is in my ego. It's in I'm in my ego, and that's why I'm afraid to make a decision, because what if it's the wrong decision and I look like a fool, or it's going to cost me, right? And so we get stuck. We get in our own way. We get in our own way. So how do you get unstuck? How do you get unstuck? I learned that when I call in my spiritual team and I ask them to please show me a way that I can change this, that is going to be a positive. And I also ask them, where is my life lesson in this? Is this what's going on? Show it to me. Tell me about it, right? So because I'm not alone, and so what I need to do is ask for help, right? Yeah, we get in our own way. That's that two-legged thing. It's usually because of our ego. Yeah. All right. Michelle's saying something here. She's saying my shoulders and heart feel it. Yes. And as soon as we feel it, we can identify it, right? And we can either pause and look for where do we need to make the adjustment, right? Shift, or where do we need to change direction? Yeah. Sorry. And Lisa's saying December is the end of a cycle, end of a year and end of a decade. Yes. Going into 2020 with new reinvented me. This is an exciting new venture. I love that, Lisa. I love that. Exactly. We're the creators, we're the dreamers, we're the weavers of this, right? And this card, the second card that supports the first one, that's what it's telling us. We're not in this alone. We're not. We have all kinds of help. All kinds of help. And that we should trust our instincts. Trust what we're feeling. And acknowledge, right? Say, okay, I know I'm in my head. I know I'm all spun tight on this. I'm all bundled up about it. Right? And what do I have to do to have the energy flow? What do I have to do to get unstuck? And sometimes it is reaching out for help. It really is. Whether it's for your spiritual team, your power animals, or is it another two-legged? In my case, a lot of times it's Paul. You know what I get stuck on a lot? Little things like when I was trying to figure out what next computer I should get. That was before I went to a Mac. I was stuck. I mean, I was doing all kinds of research, price comparison, months, weeks, looking at them, trying to figure out. I'd stopped dreaming and I got stuck in the research. And what happened? Paul came in. He goes, "Get that one with the bigger screen. Let's go. We're going to go get it now." What? We don't know. And he goes, "We do too know." you know, and he's the one that took that step, that leap. It wasn't me. I had the information, but I was kind of stuck in it. And he's the one that came through and said, "Let's go." Yeah. All right. So a little bit about this card. It says, trust the power animal spirit within to learn more about yourself and your talents. To learn about yourself and your talents. Goes back to the show last night, doesn't it? Is claim them. Claim yourself. Claim your talents and your skills, your gifts. Because those are the ones that are going to help you with dreaming the dream and making it reality, bringing it into the physical world. It says that this card represents the angels of the animal realm, kingdom. Animals are angels of nature who have incredible lessons to offer and medicine that can support you on your spiritual journey and help you to survive some of the greatest challenges. You also have instinctive animal energy within that can direct you towards everything you need. Everything you need. And so many times as two-leggeds, we separate ourselves away from the rest of our relatives, right? Other animals. And most animals, they rely on their instincts. There's an old saying, a dog really knows that it's a dog and it behaves like a dog, right? It knows itself so well. It doesn't try to become something else or someone else, right? Yeah. They claim their gifts. All right. And then it also says that you have a powerful animal within that can be wild, protective, instinctive, and even calm. Animals don't second guess how they feel, they just express it. When the card arises, it's important to connect with how you really feel, how you want to feel, and what you really need. Take the time to connect with your animal energy and express it naturally. It will teach you a lot about your gifts and how you can grow. Okay? So this card, the information, what Spirit is giving to us in this card, is to help us understand that first card about dreaming the dream and bringing it into reality, right? And to trust ourselves to do that, right? See, Bobby's saying, even change in the past life to fix the now. Yes. Yeah, because you know what? Time is spherical, right? There's no past, there's no present, there's only now. Yeah. That's a consciousness shift. When you decide to live your life non-linear. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we have insight and sight 360 degrees. It's spherical. So of course you can change it. It's all a dream. The Maya, right? The Mayan culture, that's how they believe that this is all a dream and we're creating it. Right? Rob is saying, too late for me to avoid looking like a fool. I don't know about that. There's always tomorrow. All right, here's a third card. Broken arrow. Embrace the energy of peace. Embrace the energy of peace. The broken arrow is a symbol of peace. The message is let go of the need to defend yourself and prepare to offer peace. You are safe. You are safe. It says when you see a broken arrow in a meditation, vision, or dream, or a reading, it is the message that you no longer need to fight because peace has arrived. This is a powerful symbol of harmony, serenity, and community. So you can drop your shields and protection. You're now in a situation that will honor you and honor your needs. In order to move forward in a more fearless way, it's important for you to let go of the idea that you can be hurt by the situation or the people involved, because this will only work against you. So create peace. And where does that start? Everything starts from within, right? Everything that you want to experience starts from within. If you having trauma, drama, all of that you're seeing on the outside of you and you're experiencing it around you, that's what's going on the inside. At some level, in some way, it's feeding you. And it is what you're creating in your life, right? So if you want peace, where does it start? It starts within. If that's what you want to create, that's how you get the creation going on in the inside, right? Dreaming the dream starts on the inside. And for me, it's the balance. It starts with a thought first, and then the emotions come right behind it, feeling it. And the emotions are the fuel to bring that dream into reality. So dream the dream with the emotions, right? Yeah. And that last card, that broken arrow, is about stepping past any fears you may have, because they're created in your mind, right? Yeah, because you are safe. You are safe. And most of us, I'm not going to say all of us, but most of us understand and embrace the fact that the universe, creator, has never let us down, has always supported us. We may not have agreed with how it came about, but it's always been there to support us. You know, every time you get anxious, Paul and I, you know, in our lives, anytime we get anxious, like, wait. The universe has never let us down before. Why is it going to start now? Of course not. It's going to be right there where it's always been. And so we can relax around it rather than getting caught up in it, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's timely if not easy to accept. Right. It's in divine timing. And us two-leggeds, we try to make everything happen now, right? You said it, you want it, where is it? We go through the drive-through, right? Okay, here's one. Because that is part of our society, is that how we think that everything should happen exactly when and where and how, and happen quick, right? It's that drive-through mentality. And there's many of us here that were much, much younger, and we can remember when there wasn't a drive-through, right? That if you went to a restaurant to get lunch, a quick lunch, that still meant that you had to go inside and order, and you still had to wait for them to fix it for you, right? Even if it was a carryout. So it still took some time. It wasn't exactly, you know, place your order at one spot, pay for it at the next spot, pick it up at the next spot, all under 10 minutes or less, right? Yeah. And so it's all in divine timing, all in divine timing, even though it may feel uncomfortable, right? Rob's saying it's easier to walk around in a state of hypervigilance. It keeps our blood pressure up or higher and allows us to die younger. Only the good die young. Isn't that what they say? Yeah. I don't know. All right. I'm going to show you all three cards. Now, we have learned something through doing these shows together, and that is that we take in so much more of the information when we're grounded and we're centered, right? So take a moment, if you haven't done that yet today, take a moment and go through your grounding, your centering, right? Yeah. And then when you're finished with that, is that calling to your spiritual team, right? They're always with you, always. But you're turning your attention to them and you're asking them to step close, to come in close, and ask them to help you to bring in the information coming from the cards that is meant for your highest good in the optimum amount for you, right? Yeah. All right. And here we go. I'm going to take my name down first so it doesn't get in the way. There we go. All right. Here we go. All three cards together. All right. Now, just looking at them together, right? Looking at them together, notice that we have two circles and a sacred feminine in between. A circle is also feminine. So you might say that this is a very sacred feminine, divine feminine card draw, right? The drum shows the four directions. The broken arrow shows the crosswinds. It's all about creation, creating, dreaming the dream, create the dream. It's about communication. It's about trusting your intuition, trusting spirit, trusting your spiritual helpers to bring your dream into reality, to create peace from within, to relax, right? That spirit's helping you to create your dream. And it so reminds me of the show that I did last night about claiming yourself, claim your life, claiming the whole you in your entirety, all of your gifts, all of your skills, all of your talents, because you're applying all of that to dream and create your dream. Yeah. I think this is a great card draw for December. As Lisa was saying. Yep. Yeah, they do, don't they? Rochelle, I agree. They'll look balanced. There's balance there. Hey, Angie, good to have you here. And Rochelle's also saying the cards meld into each other. Yes, they do. They do. There was a certain kind of flow to them today. It's very, like I said, divine feminine energy going on there in the creation. And I should probably also make another note to this one is that in this first card that in the draw, the flower of life is in the background. And in the background, within the flower of life is Metatron's cube. And in Metatron's cube are the seed of life. It's also got the platonic solids in there, the 5 of them, which are the building blocks of all life. So it's all about creation. It's all about creation. Yeah. So we've been asking this question quite a bit since November. Yeah. What are you going to create in the new year, in 2020, for 2020, for the new decade? I think, out of all these years, I have to say this is the first one that we've heard, that I've talked a lot about it, and heard others talk about it, about a new decade. This is a new decade starting. So what are you going to do for the new decade? What do you want to create? Now is the time to dream about it. Now is the time to tap into your spiritual team and create the dream, right? Yeah. As it is exciting. It is exciting. There's a certain emotion around this one, don't you think? This feeling about it. Yeah. And we get to talk about it and share it. Rochelle says, I felt a softness but powerful energy. I agree. I agree. It certainly was there. Get a new deck. Wait, are you talking about a porch? Or are you talking about the divination cards? Now, we are going to be starting a new deck, using a different deck, I should say, a different deck in January. We'll put these away for a little while, and I'll use a different deck. Yeah. So Spirit had a lot to say in this one, and I think it's all about creation. It's all about creating. Last year, I don't know if you guys remembered this, but last year in December, we were talking about the gateway of the 1212 gateway. And that started us in talking about how important it is to ground. And we were reminding each other every day, did you ground? Have you grounded? Right? In fact, Stephanie created, or maybe it was Fred, created the memes for us about, have you grounded today? Do you remember that? Yeah. For this one, for this coming year, or at least the first maybe 3 or 4 months, we're all we're talking about is creating, to create consciously, dream the dream, right? Yeah. Rob, both. It's a new decade. I see. All right. So we got a couple good things coming up for you guys this week, the remainder of the week. We've got Polly Joel Abade this evening for Soul Connections. If you have some healing work that you need to work on, tonight's a good night to do that. Polly Jo and her team, they create the sacred space for us to do our healing work and assist us if we need it to do the releasing of whatever needs to be released and healed. That's the first half, and then of course there's the card draw, right? In the second half. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And tomorrow night, Thursday night, is Spiritual Mysteries of Life with Constance Shearwater. And she's continuing her series on the I Am Presence. And it's another perspective, another way of saying, claim your gifts, right? The I Am Presence. It's all about being the creator, being the creator. So hopefully you can join us for that. Working on the magazine, the December issue. We got some good stuff coming up with the magazine too. We're changing things up a bit, and I'll be telling you guys more about that in the days to come. Yeah, we got some good stuff going on. So with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Thank you so much for being with me this afternoon, and to be able to have a spiritual conversation together. It's always a good time, isn't it? I think so. I enjoy being with you guys, that's for sure. So you can be back here next week for the Spiritual Roundtable group card draw for the week on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And join me on Sunday for the Spiritual Roundtable Dream Interpretation show. And that takes place in the Star Nation's live stream shows closed group. And so that's at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope you can join me for that. Yeah. Okay. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you back here this evening for Soul Connections, all right? Okay. Bama Mina. You know what that means, don't you? It's in Potawatomi. It means until we see each other again. Love you guys.